Hello and welcome to a fab journey. Hi, I'm Paul, the guy on a fab journey, and it's in the genes this week. Yes, we're into dad joke territory because we went to Gaming DNA to visit their armory for the first time. So yes, another 2 Armory week this week. Look, going into new stores, not the best idea if you're looking after your wallet, because you know what, you end up spending more money because you see new stuff. But we'll get on to that later. But let's start off first off with the news. Well, in the news this week, not very much. All a bit of quiet after the storm, let's be honest, because obviously we had Worlds and the keynote speech there. So it's all been a bit quiet in the news front since then. The only news really is who won Worlds, so congratulations to them. But look, that's a bit like staring at eagles soaring in the sky, isn't it? Somewhere that's really kind of cool to watch, but not necessarily somewhere that you're ever going to actually get involved with. So really cool for them, but not something that really impacts someone like me, let's be honest. Emptying the wallet then. So what money did we spend this week? Well, first off, I saw a Armory deck KO was available. And so I picked that up for $40 and picked that up actually and then arranged to pick it up at Gaming DNA over there in Hamilton. I've got that for my Armory Deck League series. Not actually planning on playing that seriously, but who knows in the future what will happen with that one. At this stage, we had 4 Armory decks: Ira, Pallades, Rhinar, which I got last week, and now KO for that series. Over at Gaming DNA, I also could not resist these wonderful deck boxes. So we got this one for my daughter. She got Zuko, and then later on I decided, you know what, I needed to get Uncle Iro. Look, he's got his cup of tea there in his hand, just like I've got my cup of tea as well for doing the show. Also, he's grey-haired like me, isn't he? So I think Uncle Iro is one of the kind of cooler characters from that series. Then we headed over to Gateway Games on the Friday, and you know what? They'd started their Black Friday deals. Sure, it was a week earlier than Black Friday, but the Black Friday packs were available. So you had to spend $90 to get one of those. And so obviously I bought myself a Armory Deck Aurora. So we've got another deck. That's 5 decks now for the Armory Deck series. Again, clearly not someone I'm going to be playing seriously because she's LL'd. So that one obviously can't be played like that. Also picked up a number of booster packs. We've got one from Bright Lights, Tales of Aria, Everfest, and a Super Slam pack as well to get us up to, just shy of that $90, but they let me off the last couple of dollars there, which was nice because obviously to put Aurora in, I also got a Dragon Shield box as well to keep her in there. So yes, but we'll get on to the actual opening of that during the cards section. Then also entering the Gaming DNA, that was $15 each for their Armory. And we got 4 packs. We got 4 history packs. One, we didn't really pull anything that was good. I was hoping for that Spring Tunic. It didn't turn up. Gateway Games, another $6 each for the Armory there as well. So $40 in event entry fees and a total of $260.80 for the week. So, wow, yes, a bit of an expensive week there, but hey, think of all the content that produces, hey? Because yes, we did get our highest viewed video this week on YouTube, which was kind of cool. Anyway, let's get on to the Armories then. So first up was Gaming DNA. Now, look, I came into Gaming DNA with on a bit of confidence, really, because the previous week we had been to the Armory at Card Merchant Hamilton, and a lot of the same people were going to be there. I'd gone close with 2 games. My daughter had come second on the night with 2 wins and a loss. So I thought, you know, this could be a good one here. So yes, I thought, sure enough, there were a bunch of new faces, and look, I got to play Nick again with his Prism deck. Look, I started off okay with a good attack using Pummel into his hand, and all he could do was draw 4 cards and pass back to me. But then I ended up with 3 red cards and not really able to do anything. All that momentum was lost, and I never got it back. He got all his auras out, and let's be honest, he also got his angels and his library as well. Now, last week I got lucky. 2 out of the 3 yellow cards I have in my deck were in my hand when the library came out, so I could discard those and kill it. This time that did not happen. Look, he was still on 24 life when the game came to an end. Next up, I took on Jesse Puffin. 2 pummels and a whole bunch of no blues really blocked up my hand, and I struggled. This look, it's definitely something that's been happening to me this week. Is having this clunky hand. Unfortunately, it all went crazy with a bunch of cogs and gold everywhere, and another loss was chalked up. Last round was Braden using Reinar to beat me up this time. Look, I did get some early hits in, but ended up with a pummel in Arsenal. I just couldn't get out and play. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my deck and why it's getting clunky, but it just has done something. I think I have to have a total rethink of the deck and look through it again. Look, my daughter went much better with 2 wins and a loss there. Next up, obviously, was the Friday night Armory at Gateway Games. Now, look, being back on home territory, surely things would be a bit better for me. First up, I got the bye. So, yes, you don't go to Armories to sit around and watch people play. You go to Armories to play. But unfortunately, well, I guess, look, I got a free win, at least. So I just got 1 win this week. But that's not why you're there, is it? I then got matched up with James with Gravy. Now, this was, oh, dear, horrible in some ways. So, yes. Look, I know what I'm supposed to do here. I'm supposed to kill his allies, and when he runs out of them, I go then win the game. Unfortunately, look, I got Colossal Bearing, put it in my arsenal. Right, I'm going to use Colossal Bearing to kill or to destroy his compass. So I had to defend my, and he actually attacked. He attacks with attacks. We're going to clear my arsenal out like 3 times, I think it was. So I had to really defend that. I really did defend that card. Eventually, I got it out and said, "Hey, look, right, I'm going to destroy your compass." And he's like, "Well, that's not how it works." And so we got the judge over, and he's like, "No, it's not. Sorry, compass hasn't got a defense value, and therefore you're not allowed to kill it." It's like, okay. I deliberately put this card in my deck to destroy compasses and flick knives, and to find out that it doesn't actually work that way. It was a real kick to the guts. Let's be honest. So after putting all that effort into protecting my arsenal so I could play this card, the card didn't do what I wanted it to do. So unsurprisingly, I lost the game. I put all that effort into getting the right combo out. Next, I played Prism, and let's be honest, by then I've lost 4 games this week. My deck's not kind of working properly. Even when it does work properly, it doesn't do what I think it can do. So yes, I kept on killing his angels. They just kept coming, and look, he was still on over 30 life by the end of it. A really bad run of games for me. My daughter again went with 2 wins and a loss. But we had 3 Iras this week, and I'll get over that in the meta. But she beat the other 2 Iras basically. Look, I played one of the Iras in a friendly game afterwards, because it all finished kind of early, so we thought we'd stick around and have another game. So I pulled out the Reinar Armory deck, because my Prism had just been treating me so badly, or I'd been playing her so badly. But then that was another loss to Ira again, as I couldn't really beat my chest properly like I wanted to with that deck. Look, I thought you were supposed to get better at this game, not worse, but it appears I'm getting worse at the moment. So look, hopefully things turn around in the coming weeks. So say that really was not much fun. Look, we picked up a couple of army decks this week as far as cardboard goes, and we got a bunch of packs to open. Obviously, we had those 4 history packs, and they didn't really yield anything, to be honest with you. All the gem packs we picked up there. We did get a high octane majestic, but yeah, it's not really one we're going to play, or that I think many people want. And we got some nice extended art cards from the gem packs, but nothing again that anyone's going to really clamour for. I did get to open the Black Friday pack, and here it is. Are you filming or not?
Yes.
Why are you filming that portrait? Oh, wait, doesn't matter.
I don't know, this is just how I normally film things.
What have we got? We have a Cheers and a Superstar. Neither cards that we'll probably play. And yes, 2 cards that we're not likely to play, to be honest with you. All that effort, but hey. But you know what? That short on YouTube has had 1,500 views. So by far my most viewed video on YouTube so far. So that's kind of cool. As I say, yes, good for the content on that one. We didn't get anything else out of the other packs either, to be honest with you, that was really worth sort of talking about. So let's move on to Meta Matters. And we've got 2 of these this week, because we attended 2 different armories. Over in Gaming DNA, we had 11 decks across 10 heroes. And Pleiades, which I was playing with, Ira, and my daughter, Acilio, Prism, Bolton, Jarl, Syndra, Verdance, Puffin, and Reinar. twice. So 2 Rhinar decks there. Like a few new faces, quite a few new faces that weren't at Card Merchant Hamilton. So it isn't the exact same crowd across the 2 nights. So this one didn't feel quite as experimental, to be honest with you. Look, I mean, the previous one, we had 2 people who had Armory deck Iras, which weren't there this week. We had someone playing Lyeth as well, which is, let's be honest, also another kind of new deck that people are trying to figure out. So look, a very diverse meta, still a very casual meta as well, got a casual group, but not really, but not as experimental this time as I thought it was going to be with that one. But still, I say, loving the diverse meta. Gateway Games was a little less diverse this time because a whole bunch of people decided to play Ira. With 7 heroes across 9 decks. So Gravy, which I lost to, I've already heard about. Prism, which I also lost to. Pleiades, I was playing. Puffin, Vincent, Verdant, and then the 3 Ira decks there. We lost the Rhinar, which obviously I brought and replaced with Pleiades. Jarl was disappeared as well, as Puffin was brought back, and Florian and Lyeth were exchanged for Ira decks. Arachne, Victor, and Syndra dropped out because those people weren't there this week. So quite a bit of change from last week, as we sort of had 4 people changing decks as well as people dropping out. So I think that's really kind of a healthy place, to be honest with you, because you're not playing the same thing every week. You are getting other experiences, which I think is which I think is really cool. So yes, this boring meta with I totally disagree with on that front. What's going up over the next week? Well, so trying to head to the Card Merchant Hamilton for their Armory again on Tuesday, and this time do the recordings I need for the what's it called again? An armory guide to Athera. Look, the first 2 of those should come out this week for Gateway Games and for Gaming DNA. So look out for those being released this week. We also might head over on to the weekend for Skirmish 13. Obviously, we'll go to Gateway Games on the Friday night for our normal Armory, but we also might head over on Saturday to Card Merchant Hamilton for their Skirmish 13 event as well. Look, now I've got these 5 Armory decks. I better get these Armory deck league games played and coming out. I was going to do one of those on Tuesday, but my daughter and I might be building our Blitz decks because, yes, the Armory for Card Merchant Hamilton is actually Blitz format this week ahead of the skirmishes. So we'll have a quick practice beforehand. I mean, practice is cheating, but there you go. So look, everyone, please like, share, subscribe, and enjoy playing in the flesh and blood at your local game stores or around your kitchen tables for that kind of thing. Thank you very much for following and supporting the channel, and look forward to talking to you next week about how we get on at those 2 armories and possibly our first Skirmish 13 event as well.